Hi, well, Pinecone here, and just started the PCT. And 2 years ago, I started the PCT and ended up having to come off because of the COVID crisis. And I am videotaping basically the same steps from the beginning that I videotaped then. Anyway, I'm hoping that this year will be the year that I finish the entire hike, and looking forward to sharing some memories with you guys and showing you what it's like out here. These videos are dedicated to my grandchildren, Christopher, Samantha, Gabriel, Samuel, Evelia, and Elena. These are my most precious gifts in the world, other than my own children. And so my children being Benjamin, Dominic, and Monica. Anyway, this is dedicated to my grandchildren. So I'll be talking about the trail and so directing my messages primarily to them. So the trail starts at the Mexican border, and that's about half mile back. And I think you saw some pictures of the trail start at the beginning of the video. And so the trail, actually, most of it is pretty well defined. You can see the trail, you can walk on it from here all the way to the Canadian border. And the trail length is 2,650 miles. That's the actual length of the trail. And I'll probably hike more than that, because I'll have to hike off the trail to get resupplies and to go into town and wash my clothes and take a bath and things like that. Here in the beginning, this part of the trail is in the desert, or the desert mountains, and you kind of see that there are desert mountains out here. And what you notice is that these trails go up and down these mountains, and there really isn't a flat spot. So you're either going up or going down, and that makes it really interesting, because you go up and you see some really beautiful vistas, which you'll see in the future, or some low spots where it's very green and vegetated and pretty, and all kinds of different vegetation at the lower areas as compared to the higher spots. So we'll see some of those. And then I'll talk a little bit about my gear as I go through. Talk a little bit about what I'm feeling, and how my body is doing, and how my mind is doing, and let you know if I'm happy or tired or sad or excited or nervous. So you'll see that I'll explain why for whatever emotion that I have. So what I'd like to do is show you the very first mile that I complete on the trail. It'll be right over here. Mile 1.
There it is.
Done a mile already. Yes, the hard part is over. The butterflies I had in my stomach from when I started are gone. And now I'm starting to feel a little huffing and puffing from climbing these little hills. And it feels really good. I'm super excited. And there's even like a little bird in there. So I'll report back to you in a little while. Talk to you later. Bye. I'm at mile 4.5, just past the water source. And I don't think there's any more creeks for a while. It's about 80 degrees, so it's a bit tad warm, but there's a nice breeze blowing, so that kind of helps. And the occasional shade helps too. But the creek where we filled up was the low spot, so the rest of it is climbing, so you'll hear me huffing and puffing, especially on the first day, because it's hard to get used to the trail out here. But overall, it's really pretty here. The water source is down there. If you look down at the lowest spot, you can see where the creek's in there. There's the railroads I crossed earlier. And way back, but the center there, somewhere back there is Campo. 4.5 miles trail-wise. Probably about a mile as the crow flies. Picked up 4 liters of water. So I'm a little heavier than at the start. The plan is to camp somewhere between here and Lake Morena, Lake Morena is 20 miles from Campo. So if we camp somewhere around mile 15 to 17, somewhere in there, tonight we can make it through Lake Morena, go in and get a burger and shake tomorrow about mid-morning, and then hit the trail and try to make a place called Boulder Oaks. At least that's a tentative plan. We're just kind of letting our bodies determine what we can and can't do right now. We got to figure out how much we can push them right now, because we don't want to get injured early. If we get injured early, then it could affect us in the rest of the trail. So everybody being cautious. Spoke with 5 or 6 other hikers at the water source. They're all the same. They'll be very cautious, going really slow, extra slow, resting, stopping at rest stops and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. The hard part, the prep and all that is done, and so now we're actually doing it. I mean, it's starting to set in, the excitement of the trail. Of course, I did the first 50 miles I did in 2020 when we were kicked off the trail, but so a lot of these paths look familiar to me. Reminiscing about conversations I had at different parts of the path here. So once we get to mile 54, I think, then from there forward, it's all new trail. So hopefully this is what I could live in. Not too shabby. So I've donned the umbrella, and it has made a world of difference. The umbrella makes it feel like it's 20 degrees cooler under it. I took my hat off and at 85 degrees. I am really enjoying this cool weather. I am at about mile 12.75. I've been hiking all day. Pretty tired, but in good spirits. The trail has been actually hot, in the 80s, probably mid to upper 80s. And I've got my umbrella, and that's helped a bunch. Lets the cool air run through my long hair. So it's been nice. I got a lot of comments on it from other hikers that really admire it. So I am heading down to Hauser Creek. Hauser Creek is down there somewhere. Probably about 1,000 feet, 1,200 feet down, I'm guessing. It's a good climb down. And camp there. That was our original intent, is to get to Hauser Creek. I think that's like at mile 15, somewhere there, 14.7 or something like that. But I'm just a couple miles, or actually less than a couple miles from there. I'm gonna get there and set up camp. First night on the trail. Excited. Yoo-hoo! I am about 13.5 miles in. Still another about a mile to Hauser Creek, which is down there somewhere. Tomorrow morning, that's at the base. There's a creek down there. But if you can look, there's a trail there that climbs that mountain. Kind of does zigzags in there. And goes out that way, and then up, and then up, and up, and up. That'll be the climb tomorrow morning. I think that's about 2,000 feet. I'm guessing. But it's a pretty, it's probably one of the harder climbs in this section. But I've done it before, and I'll do it again. Just a view of the scenery here. It is about 3:30-ish. It's starting to cool off quite a bit more. As you can tell, I'm in the shade. The shade feels so much better than the sun. So it's about another 30 minutes and I'll be at camp.